Would you kill for your loved one if that will bring them back to life? Would you break an oath you've made and sacrifice everything for them, even if it goes against all that you believe in? Or would you let your loved one go in the name of a greater good? This is Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, and these are a few of the many choices that you're gonna be making. And with all the RPGs that are releasing in 2024 so far, something tells me this is gonna be one of the best action RPGs that you probably won't play, but I'm here to change that. Hello you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. By the end of this video, you're gonna know if this game is a buy or skip for you. Thank you so much for Don't Nod and Focus Entertainment for providing me with a game code. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden is a story about love, loss, death, and sacrifices set in the 17th century. Without spoiling the story, the main quest has you playing as Red, who loses his partner Antea after they visit New Eden, a town taken by a curse which also ends up taking Antea's life as well. Both of them are banishers, and they have a sworn duty of protecting the living from lingering ghosts and specters. The dilemma arises when the love of your life turns into a ghost, and you're in this predicament of whether you will sacrifice the lives of others, killing bad people but also innocent ones, or will you abide by your oath and decide to let go of Antea by ascending her. But things are not that simple. The curse has taken over New Eden, leaving everyone to suffer from a nightmare that is slowly taking over the land by crippling it with snow and spreading diseases. So you're gonna be helping the people of New Eden solve their problems, and the majority of these deal with the ghosts of their loved ones, rivals, and family members. And this is all wrapped up in a package of wonderful voice acting that makes you fully immersed in the story and the characters' feelings. You will feel their pain, worry, and sadness, but also their glimpse of hope and happiness through the words they say. However, this was let down by the lip syncing at times, so I had to look away and not look at their lips, because sometimes you're gonna be hearing the words and then you look at their lips and you're like, you don't look like you're saying what you are saying and what I hear you saying.
Jude Heaton, sir, and so very pleased that you came along.
I'm here, my love. How mundane.
Show yourself. Hell's balls. Lady, if you hurt.
The graphics and animations look very realistic, immersive, and detailed, with a gloomy New Eden that you'll explore, accompanied by some eerie and unsettling music, which comes together to create the overall setting of Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. I got goosebumps at many points playing this game, and this is something very rare for me to experience these days, so I was wholeheartedly immersed in the gameplay. And I played this on PC and had a smooth experience with no bugs, crashes, or stutters. And the experience is enhanced with one of the gameplay features, decision making. Most quests start you off by investigating what has happened, be it through asking people questions or looking around certain areas and gathering clues. These clues come together to fill the information you have about the people, so you have this beautiful and clean looking system to read what you have learned about the different characters. And this is all very important information because you're gonna have to come back to this when you eventually decide to confront the characters and decide how you're gonna approach them. Sometimes when gathering clues, you may be prompted to initiate one of the rituals. So for instance, you can see echoes to bring back lost memories and secrets, or even invite these ghosts to unravel themselves so you can have a chat with them. And choosing which ritual you're gonna use is dependent on each case, so you can't just initiate whatever ritual you feel like, because if you choose the wrong one, it will fail and you will lose the resources that you have used. But if you choose the right one, you will see kind of like a sequence or like an animation happening, and you're gonna be like, okay, I actually chose the right ritual. And to perform these rituals, they require resources that you collect throughout the semi-open world, one that is gorgeous to look at but also difficult to navigate at times. You have places that will be locked and you don't have the right power to access, so you're gonna be backtracking at times once you have the right ability. The UI is minimalistic, making it easy to take in the scenery, with a small direction indicator at the top to help you navigate. But the thing that annoyed me the most is that sometimes navigating the map is really difficult and misleading, so I found myself just going to the map back and forth a lot, and that can break your immersion a little bit at times, which I wish it could be avoided. At one point, the game introduced the leap feature that lets you use Antea to jump from place to place, and while that feature is very fun to play around with, it also made me not know where I'm supposed to go to next. Even with a quest marker, there is no minimap to guide you, so you will keep bringing up the map, and again, it's just gonna be a bit difficult to figure your way out at times. Despite all that, the world has plenty of nooks and crannies that you can go to with hidden treasure lying around. So apart from the resources that you need for your rituals, you also have gear that you can level up. You can find these scattered around the world and can upgrade them at resting points. Let me tell you, the resting animation and screen looks so clean and beautiful. You can sleep, level up your skills to improve existing abilities, but you can also learn new ones which will make you and Antea work better as a team. You can also upgrade your gear to get more HP, attack, defense, etc., and then sleep, which is crucial because there are times where you're gonna have important conversations with Antea, and these will be initiated with the sleep sequence. And at the end of the majority of the quest, you're gonna have the big decision to make. Are you gonna blame them? Are you gonna banish them? Or are you gonna ascend them? Basically, blaming means you choose to kill them, and this will help Antea get closer to getting her life back. And this is a hard choice to make because at times you might actually decide to kill someone who's actually innocent. Banishing them, on the other hand, means you condemn them to eternal suffering, whereas ascending liberates them from their sorrows and grants them serenity and peace. The choice carries a lot of weight, and if you've played Vampire or Vampire, however you want to say it, or Life is Strange from Don't Nod, then you know how heavy the repercussions are for every decision that you make, and this will alter the end of the world, but also the fates of the different characters that you come along with. Speaking of Antea, she is a big part of Red's story. Because she is a spirit, she can help you access features you couldn't before. When you're traversing the world, your hand will glow, showing you that there is something hidden to the human eye, but Antea, being a spirit, is capable of letting you unravel it. It can be chests, pieces of valuable information, leap points, a bunch of resources, etc.
Spectres. Here.
Now, when you start playing, the game initially asks you which difficulty setting you want to go with, and that will cater how difficult or easygoing the combat is going to be, and I would say the combat is fairly simple to understand. You lock onto enemies and have your light and heavy attacks, your special attack, as well as charge attacks. You can also dodge or roll out of enemies' attacks. The more Red hits the enemy, the more spirits Antea will gain, so you can then switch to her and use her attacks to double the damage. Red uses a range of weapons from swords and rifles to firebanes, all which are extremely smooth to try. This was very fun to play around and experience because despite the enemies feeling like they are repetitive and there's not much variety to them, the different weapons and different abilities that you do actually keep you on your toes and make it more entertaining to fight them. So having different ways to tackle battles along with the many abilities that you unlock, it keeps combat fun and intuitive. Combat is also made easier because you can see when an enemy is about to attack with the red circle showing on the screen so you can move out of its way. And speaking of what makes this game fun, let's talk about the fun factor of Banishers. The decision making changes the course of the story dramatically. Even small comments you say or decisions that don't seem that drastic will end up in major consequences that you will have to deal with. I love RPGs that make me question the steps that I take as a protagonist of the story. And everything that I was doing in this game was changing the fate of the entire world as well as Antea and Red's fate. I also love how lore rich the world is, and this is another fun factor of this game. As you explore around New Eden, you will find books and letters that deepen your knowledge about the world, but you also find points of interest like cluster specters, which you can eliminate to reduce the threat that they have, but also gain special powers. Also, talking to ghosts and confronting them was so fascinating. I used to watch a lot of Ghost Whisperer, if you remember that show, and it's just like, there's something different about me playing this game and actually deciding what the fate is gonna be of the different ghosts and the fate of the people, and having a say in how the ending will unfold. I must also say that learning about Antea and Red's history of how and why they became Banishers in the first place was interesting and made me feel invested in their story. The same can be said about the people you meet whose fates lie in your hands. You feel part of the world, and seeing it change for better or for worse based on your decisions shows you how much of an impact you actually have. And with keeping the good and the bad in mind, Banishers is the game for you if you've played and enjoyed either Vampire or Life is Strange. It's for you if you love games that emphasize decision making and won't be shy to let you suffer from the consequences of what you do and say. It's also for you if you're a sucker for a love story just like I am. It's for you if you're craving a story-rich RPG with combat that is easily tailored to whatever difficulty level you choose. It's 100% for you if you love a supernatural story about ghosts, nightmares, and curses, but it's not for you if you're the type of gamer to skip dialogue and not care much about the story. This is very story-rich rich and dialogue heavy, so you're gonna have to be listening to what everyone is saying. It's not for you if you get easily scared from supernatural stories that tap into ghosts, or if you're looking for a deeply complex RPG with very deep combat mechanics, because combat is rather simple here. It's also not for you if you prefer a more linear story, because again, the decisions that you make will change how the story unfolds drastically. I personally think this will be a sleeper action RPG of 2024, as it will release with the many other massive RPGs that we have seen alongside it. And I know from my community that many of you never even heard about it until I mentioned it in previous polls and videos. So let me know if you're gonna be getting Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. I love chatting with you. And here are the best and worst RPGs of 2023, and there is a little bit of controversy about what made it to my D tier list. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube bubblies who make videos like this possible. Thank you for watching, and a shout out goes to the games I mentioned, Jacob, Stephanie, Steven, and Jake Logan for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.